Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel, and today I will be reviewing Bride of Chucky. Now, Bride of Chucky, I think this is a very fun child's play movie. Now, if you've been with my channel for a while, you know Bride of Chucky is at least top 2, top 3 for me, depending on my mood. I love me some Bride of Chucky. Now, the basic premise of this movie is you have this character, Tiffany. She's trying to find where Chucky has been for all these years. She finds him, stitches him up, where it goes from there. And I think this is a fun horror slasher road trip movie. I think Tiffany, the character Tiffany, is just as iconic and memorable as Chucky. And I personally think if Seed of Chucky, which I will get into later, if Seed of Chucky would have never existed, would have never happened, or would have been a completely different movie and handled Tiffany better, I think Tiffany would be just as popular as Chucky. I think Tiffany would have a lot of popularity if it wasn't for Seed of Chucky. Let me continue with Bride of Chucky. Again, like I said, Tiffany is a very iconic and memorable character. I will talk more about her character in Seed and how she's handled in Seed, which I'm not a fan of how she's handled in Seed, but I love her character in Bride. Obviously, Jennifer Tilly knocks it out the park. Tiffany, obviously, Brad always brings his A game. It's Chucky. Chucky has some really good one-liners in this. I love Chucky's stitched look. I like that. I forgot what YouTuber said it. But he said Chucky being stitched up like that is them trying to contain the evil that's within Chucky, and I love that. I think that's a brilliant way to look at it, that Chucky being stitched up like that is containing the evil, and I love that. I love Chucky's look in this. I love Tiffany's look. There's some really cool and memorable scenes in this. The whole opening scene where we see Michael's mask, Leatherface's chainsaw, Freddy's glove. Go on. Some people even say they see Blade from the Puppet Master movies in here as well. A really cool and awesome score, soundtrack, and just a really awesome road trip horror movie in my opinion. I will say this too, even though this movie isn't the tone, at least of the first two, that dark humor comedy only works in Bride, and I think Ronnie Yu does a great and a phenomenal job with Bride of Chucky. I really wish Ronnie Yu would have did more horror movies after Bride of Chucky. I know he did Freddy vs. Jason, but I just wish he would have did more with this genre, because I really liked what he did with Bride of Chucky, and even with Freddy vs. Jason. And I find it kind of ironic that Universal didn't, get Ronnie Yu back for Seed of Chucky. I think if Ronnie Yu would have did Seed of Chucky would have been a way better movie. I'm just going to say that now. The whole cinematography, the lighting, there's some really cool imagery in this movie, some really cool kills. A lot of the kills are by Tiffany. This is not only a Chucky movie, but this is a Tiffany movie. She has a lot of the lines. She has a lot of the show in this. She has a lot to do in this. I like her character as a human and as a doll. I would like to explore more of her character, hopefully in the TV show as well. And like I said, I think she would be way more popular and way more memorable if it wasn't for Seed. And that's just how I feel, because I like her. I like Tiffany's character in Bride, because to me, she's just as evil. She's possibly more evil than Chucky, but she has a moral, she has because it's Tiffany, she has a moral code. There's still some good in her, but she's just still as more evil. She's possibly more evil than Chucky. I think that's a really interesting way to go about Tiffany. And again, I love Bride of Chucky. The animatronics are really good here. Bride of Chucky will always be a top 2, a top 3, depending on my mood, and sometimes it's my favorite Chucky movie. I just love Bride of Chucky. At this point of the franchise, you really had to reinvent the franchise. You had to reinvent the franchise. You had to just roll the dice and go look, let's do something new. And I think Ronnie Yu, Dom Mancini, David Kirshner, all of their heads all three of their heads being in this movie makes it even more brilliant, in my opinion, because, again, you had Dom Mancini, Ronnie Yu, all of them within this movie taking a part in it, and I think it works. It really works. And I really wish, again, like I said before, I think Ronnie Yu is a pretty good horror director, and I wish he had at least a couple more horror movies under his belt. Like, I would have loved, if he would have had at least two, like after Bride of Chucky, before Freddy vs. Jason. I would have loved if he had like 2 original movies under his belt. Then after Freddy vs. Jason, he would go off and do 2 more remakes. Like, I would have loved that. But it is what it is. Bride of Chucky, it's an amazing Chucky movie. It's an amazing horror movie. Again, like I said, and I think that's something too that it doesn't get talked about enough. Bride of Chucky, it's one of those horror movies. Out of all of the, horror movies that came out late in the 90s, even though you could tell this movie was made in the 90s and it feels like the 90s, it has its own style and flavor. Because, again, Halloween H2O is an example of that. Halloween H2O copied from Scream. Halloween H2O copied from Scream. There was some of those 90s slashers that was just trying to copy from Scream. Bride of Chucky was not trying to copy from Scream or any other 90s slasher. It was just being its own thing, and it had its own identity, which I don't think it gets appreciated for as well. So my final thoughts on Bride of Chucky: I love Bride of Chucky. It's either top 2, top 3, depending on my mood. Maybe it's even at my number 1 spot. Not going to spoil my ranking, because my ranking goes like that every day. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about Bride of Chucky. What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about Bride of Chucky? I think at this point, over the years, I've seen more people be divisive about Bride of Chucky, be more vocal about it, where you got people that love this movie and defend it, but then you have a group of people over here that hate it, then you got then you got like a group over here that just is a fan of it, but, sees flaws in it. I'm the type of person that just loves this movie. I buy into certain things, like Chucky have the amulet. I can buy into that. I think Curse should have really made you believe that he had the amulet. I will talk more about that later. But I can buy that he had the amulet. I can buy that they was trying to fit this amulet into the story. I can buy that because, again, it was trying to do something new, and this is the best they had, and I think it worked. So yeah, smack the like button, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to never miss a single upload. Let me know your thoughts on Bride of Chucky. Catch you guys in the next video.